core. They pretty much just swapped out CP3 for Russell Westbrook. The bench, like they picked up McLemore, and he actually looked pretty good. Ben McLemore, he was knocking down threes. He's bought into that system. His trigger looks quick. Like his release looks very smooth, very quick. Daniel House, same ordeal, looking good. Second year in that Houston system, he's looking solid. They lost Gerald Green. I'm not sure if it's for a couple of months or if it's for the season. I don't remember what it was, but I know he's going to be out for quite a while. That was a blow. And I think eventually if he does come back, then that would be another upgrade to that bench. Now, the question with Houston for me is not necessarily regular season. Because like I said, I can honestly see Houston being a top 2-3 seed in the Western Conference easily. Just Harden alone, with the things that James Harden can do on the offensive end of this basketball, or that basketball court, is something. It's just honestly shit we haven't seen. But 60-point triple doubles, like what the? I do that in 2K. I do that in 2K. Yeah, man, James Harden can literally get that team to the playoffs alone. But with the aspect of Russell Westbrook, I can honestly see that team being a top 3 seed in the West. At the same time, though, it's one of those things where the question with Houston isn't their regular season. It comes to when it comes to the postseason, because it's a lot of times, and it's been over the last few seasons, where they're awesome regular season team. The postseason comes around, and then it just doesn't work out in a 7-game series. That style of basketball is fun to watch, and it's effective as shit. Like, they're a 50-plus win team over the last couple of seasons. But then the playoffs come around where teams are able to lock down and scheme in for a 7-game series where that stuff doesn't work all the time. Now, to Houston's credit, they have ran into the fucking Golden State Warriors the last couple of seasons. So you can't knock them completely. And then the 2 seasons ago where they had the Warriors on the ropes, had them boys down 3-2, and Chris Paul gets hurt. And, we can all say it. If Chris Paul does not get hurt during that series, the Rockets are probably advanced to the Western Conference Finals at that point, and probably could have won the championship that year. Because like Cleveland that year, even though they had LeBron James, and that was like one of LeBron James' greatest performances ever to get that Cleveland team to the finals. But they probably could have beat that Cleveland team and been NBA champions. But nonetheless, Warriors, just too much talent, was able to overtake those last 2 games and go and win another championship for the most part. But we will see if this is going to work for this Houston's team in the playoffs, because that's the question with them. It's not a regular season thing. Can they sustain the success in the playoffs? Will this style of basketball work in a 7-game series? Are they able to advance past those elite teams once they meet them in the second round? And then if they do get to the Western Conference Finals, are they able to move forward? Are they able to get over that hump? That's the question that we have with Houston. Is Westbrook the key with that? And hopefully Westbrook stays healthy. Hopefully he stays healthy. Like Chris Paul, he wasn't able to. Houston had a prime opportunity last year. Kevin Durant goes down. They're down 3-2, yes, but Kevin Durant is out, and your team is fully healthy. And Game 6 at home, they smoked it. They blew it. Choke job. So we'll see what they can do this year. I like Houston. I wasn't a big fan of the Westbrook pickup at first. After watching the game last night, I could see they still got some shit to work out. They still got some kinks that they need to work out there for them. But I can see it. I can see Houston being that team that can finally overcome that hump, man. If the stars line up and it all clicks, I can see Houston representing, man. Another team I want to talk about is going to be the Denver Nuggets. Now, Denver last year, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry if I'm, like I said, this is all off the top of the dome from what I remember, but I believe Denver was the number 1 seed last year in the Western Conference. And Denver is one of those teams where I like the team. I like the overall team. It's just that it seems like they're just missing that something. They're missing that it factor. Nikola Jokic, top 3 big men in the league. If you take him one, that's your preference. Obviously, to me, it's Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is the best center in the league. Nikola Jokic is number 2 in my opinion, though. Fucking the most skilled big man, nonetheless. Like his ability to be able to run the offense from the post, the way he's able to pass it, run the break, and then also on top of that, he can go and get a bucket. He's one of the most skillful post players in the league. Period. So they have their star player. Is he a superstar? Average defender, average rebounder, but solid overall player and an excellent offensive player. And then you got Jamal Murray, who they paid this offseason, $170 million. He had a rough playoffs last year. He had an up and down playoffs last year. Let me just say that. Sometimes he looked like shit. It's like, yeah, I don't know about this kid. And then there's games where he came through. It's like, damn, okay, I see you. I can see you, man. I can see how that's the Jamal Murray that they paid the $170 million to. That's the one that they believe can be consistent throughout the playoffs and help them get over that hump. But then you look at the rest of that roster, man. Denver is deep. Gary Harris, one of the better two-way guards in this league. Decent defender, decent shooter. Beasley, I like him a lot. He stepped up his game last year, and he's a knockdown three-point shooter. I like him a lot. They was able to add Jeremy Grant from OKC, and solid wing defender, two-way type guy. Can knock down a corner three in a decent clip. Can defend 1 through 5 if you're running a small ball 5 there for you. Probably 2 through 5. Probably 3 through 5. But Jeremy Grant, I like him a lot. I like the Craig guy they got. He's like that, just that Tony Allen type. Come in, check this guy, go check the best perimeter defender, lock him down. Very good defender there for him. Will Barton. Will the Thrill. I fucks with Will Barton. Honestly, I wish the Sixers can get him, but I like him a lot. Like the team overall is a very solid team, and then shout out to Mike Malone, their head coach. I think he's one of the more underrated coaches in the league, man. He seems to put his players, he does what a coach is supposed to do. He put his players in the best position for them to succeed. So he's a very solid head coach. Michael Porter Jr., that it seems like a lot of what's going on is them relying on Michael Porter Jr. to see if he is going to become who they drafted him to be. Like Michael Porter Jr. came into college as one of the top 5 rated players, and then got hurt playing at Missouri, and then missed all of last season with the back injury. So we'll see how he bounces back. I didn't see how he played or if he played at all the last game, but we'll see how he bounces back. But it just seems like for me, like for Denver, I just think they're missing something. Like they don't have that one player that can go out and take over a game late in the fourth if need be. Can Jamal Murray be that? Like Nikola Jokic, to me, he is what he is. Like you can go give him the ball in the post and he can go make something happen. But I don't think he's going to be the guy that's going to take him to the promised land, honestly. I like him a lot. I like Nikola Jokic a lot, but I just think that I think it has to be Jamal Murray. I think that he's going to have to be the guy that he's going to be that last shot taker. He's going to be the guy that they give the ball 2 minutes left in the game. It's a tie game. Well, this is run the offense, man. Do what you got to do. Go get the bucket. Go make the right play. Can they do that? Are they going to be able to do that against elite teams when they if they run into the Lakers in the playoffs, if they run into Houston in the playoffs, if they run into the Clippers in the playoffs? Who's going to be that guy? And then obviously defensively, they was actually one of the better defensive teams in the league last year. That's a testament to Mike Malone. They bought in. Like, he's able to get that team to buy in. They don't have like all around great defenders. They play really good team ball. So, and then, Plumlee coming off the bench. He's a solid big man, backup big man coming off the bench. I like Denver. I can see them. They're one of those teams where they have the requisite pieces to make a mega trade, a big trade. Obviously, the big name out there right now is Bradley Beal, who, like Washington said, he says he's not on the trading block. This is one of those things where, like the players are always said that, no, we're not trading him. We're not trading him. I mean, everybody is tradable. Like, nobody thought Paul George was going to get traded, but you come with the right piece, right package, players can get moved. So Denver is one of those teams where they got, like, you pair like a Gary Harris, a couple of first round picks, Michael Porter Jr., throwing something else that you want for Brad Beal. They may back Washington to the point where it's like, okay, we can't turn that down. Like, you got to give them an offer that they can't refuse. But I think like the two untouchable players, honestly, is Nikola and Jamal Murray. But overall, man, the team is solid. I like the team. We'll see what they can do. One of my favorite teams in the Western Conference is Utah. I like Utah a lot, man. I really do. I wasn't the biggest Donovan Mitchell guy. I felt like he was better suited, honestly, to come off the bench. Like, he played like a bench player. Like, he comes in, he just jacks up shots. And I mean, a lot of it too, and don't get me wrong, I haven't watched a lot of Utah games, so my opinion on it probably is a little skewed. But from the games I have watched of theirs, typically when they play the Sixers, or if it's a late night game and you're just chilling, when I have been watching Utah, I just see a lot of shots going up from Mitchell. And a lot of that was because, like, Utah's offense, I mean, they didn't really have a lot of shot creators, honestly. It was last year. It was him. You had Rubio as your starting point guard. Rudy Gobert, he's literally just a rim running center. He doesn't post up. He's not a post scorer. Then they had Joe Ingles. Ooh, I like Joe Ingles a lot, actually. My man Ed actually put me on to Joe Ingles. Shout out to Joe. But they didn't really have a lot of players that can come in and go get their own bucket. Now they was able to transform that team. So you still got Donovan, who actually he's been looking pretty good so far in this season. I mean, I think they just played one game, but that one game he looked really solid. He's very efficient. They was able to add Michael Conley. That was their big addition. And being able to swap out Mike Conley for Ricky Rubio at point guard is a fucking super upgrade. Ricky Rubio's terrible, man. I'm sorry. He's not good. He's not a good player. He's decent. He's solid. But no, I'm good on Ricky Rubio. But able to swap out Mike Conley for Ricky Rubio. Excellent two-way player. Can run the offense. Get players open shots and then go get his own bucket. Even though he had a really rough game this past game. He was terrible. But I think over the course of the season, that's going to pan out. They was able to give Bogdanovich from Indiana, who I like a lot. Honestly, he was one of those players that I was hoping that my Philadelphia 76ers would have signed this offseason to kind of replace Jimmy Butler and JJ Redick. And, instead we went in a different direction, which I'm not mad at all. But still, I like Bogdanovich a lot. He can create his own shot. He's a very decent shooter, decent defender, not all world lockdown, but decent defender. But he gives him another shot creator. He can go get his own bucket. I think he showed that a lot in the Boston series where, and then Boston obviously shut that shit down eventually. It swept their asses. But he's not one of those teams where you can't just go and double team Donovan Mitchell or Bogdanovich or, whoever it may be. But yeah, man. Who else? Joe Ingles. I like Joe Ingles a lot. I was watching this clip, by the way, side note. I was watching this clip where, like, Joe Ingles playing against OKC. He was shutting Paul George shit down. I'm like, yo, why is he shutting Paul George down like this? This is crazy. Getting in his head and then come down and fucking would drill a three in his face. I'm like, yo, shout out to Joe Ingles, man. I like Joe Ingles a lot. Shout out to Joe Ingles. But yeah, overall, I like this Utah team. Their bench, I'm not 100% familiar with. I think they still got Royce O'Neal, who I like. They got rid